Welcome back to part 3 of the Sima Extreme Difficulty campaign. In this part we are hopefully going to finish off Deng Ai, who looks to be on the cusp of falling to Buji, but I think a single officer deployed by Deng Ai here will be able to fight off this attack. They're quite low morale, not particularly strong units. I don't even know if they'd be able to take the city even without Deng Ai defending. Cao Pi to the south, who is now one of our enemies, has decided that marching through the mountain pass to Ling is too painful. He's seen Buji in Nanhai as a more attainable target. We have just taken Changsha, repelled an attack against Guiyang's force, who is looking to be the predominant force in China at the moment due to unification events firing. He's annexed both Liang and Huang Chong, so he's got a very scary saying that. No, he hasn't. He must have just beaten Chong the conventional way. That's bizarre. Well, either way, I wasn't paying too much attention, clearly. Guiyang still has annexed Liang and has his roster of officers to support him. We are going to try and continue to hold him at bay, both himself and Chang Ren, which we should be in a position to do without too much difficulty. We're going to hopefully get some troops transferred over to Changsha and use those to make a move on Guiyang. I need to do a little bit of cleaning up. That includes trying to hire some of the officers that we captured via the city we just took. So I'm going to hire whoever I can, get the supplies in situ, retreat everyone into the city, and resume when we are ready to go. Mixed results, but that officer Chen Xian, we just hired, is a summoner. He will be able to help us recruit a little bit more troops than we can do otherwise. It's not as important now, but this little area, which started at 20,000 or 27,000 population, is now up to 57,000, which seems to be somewhat of a small cap. So I am going to reassign him to another area to begin building that up. I've just recovered from a cold, so I might sound a little nasally, more so than usual at the moment, so I do apologise about that. But this is something maybe some of the people watching are interested in, to see how you can develop the population of these areas using the culture trait, which in turn helps you recruit more troops. Yes, this attack isn't working out too well for Buji, but the more damage he does to Deng Ai, the better. So Xiahou Mao in the centre of the map, he has died. That is not surprising considering he is the worst faction in this scenario, but he did as well as he did to last this long. I'm a little bit concerned about Liu Bei annexing one of my allies. Well, not allies, enemies, Guiyang, Cao Pi, Chang Ren. So I'm going to send him some gold in order to persuade him not to do that. I think if we can get him up to friendly, he will choose not to unify against us, but I could be mistaken. But I'm not going to chance it just in case. I think I'm going to make a slightly risky play, at least risky in my view, in the sense that I am going to try and start sniping some of these areas. I'm going to use Guo Huai to take over Linwu, and I'm going to deploy the main army, or as much of it as I can, from Changsha to start taking the surrounding areas. Sima Yi, Sima Yo, and Sima Shi gone. Well, I can't yet. He'll be 2 turns. So we'll make an initial march without him and hope that we don't suffer any consequences because of that. It's going to be somewhat tough as we are quite low on resources, but and Sima Yi's wounded, which doesn't help on top of that, but I think that is exactly what I'm going to try and do. To expand on that, I want to point out that Guiyang is low on troops. We have somewhat of a stockpile in Wuling that can reinforce in a push, with Yuan Shao, Liang, and Wen Shao, who have cavalry formation and can scoot across to defend Changsha in a pinch, and Liu Bei seems to be launching quite a scary assault on Chaisang, so Ganning has his hands full. Deng Ai wants his son back, I presume. If he'll give us 10,000 supplies, he can have him. No, he won't. As I was slightly concerned about Ganning is deploying for Changsha. However, Jiang Ren and Ganning have Jianling somewhat tied up, so we will deploy a very quick a very minor expeditionary force of our cavalry boys, just to you know, getting ready to defend Luo should it be needed, especially with the catapults. I can't see Ganning being too much of a threat. Looks like Ganning has other concerns other than Changsha, notably Liu Bei. Liu Bei won't take the city as Zhu Cheng is quite formidable, but it's a handy distraction. So what I like to do here is try and provoke Deng Ai from, well, provoke him out of the city so we can fight a field battle. Might be able to do this with Guo Huai, who in the mountains is quite formidable himself, and he'll be able to move in theory quicker than the other officers that we're up against. Don't know if it'll work like that in theory, but that's what we're going to try and do. And I think we haven't got a mountain warlord here. No. So I am going to send Zhang Limu to do some around the houses core capturing, as he's done so in the past for us. And now look at this. Let's have a quick look. Not bad, Cao Pi, not bad, but not a fatal blow. Buji is crippled, but he is not out of the fight. Let's have a quick look at the rest of the map, because we haven't done that, I think, yet. Liu Bei in the southeast. He failed his attack against Ganning, and now Ganning is on what looks to be a counter-offensive. At Sima Yan, my grandson, I think, Sima Yan, first Emperor of Jin, is not really doing much of anything, unfortunately for him. Exactly the same situation as Ma Chao and Ma Teng, who is being choked off in Jiangyi. In fact, he only has 2 areas left, so Sima Yan is looking to win this eventually. Liu Bei is in Guanling, his starting position, not being able to expand at all. Zhang Fei is in Jiapi, and no, Zhang Fei is in Xiaopei. He's been kicked out of Jiapi by Cao Qi. Yes, and Cao Chong is making some progress north of the river. Other than that, borders are largely static, as they often are in extreme difficulty, as making offensive plays as the AI is very difficult. Lu Bu has officers, Chen Gong as well. So Liu Bei has actually done very, very well for himself, which is surprising. It's frustrating playing as Liu Bei because it can be very difficult to hire these officers. And Gong Xingdu is just sort of surviving. Oh, and let's not forget Shah Hudun, who has one of the stronger forces, I believe, not necessarily for the AI, but he's making progress in Hanzhong and Zitong. And the last Sao Rui is just hanging out in Chengdu. Sun Jian is building up his faction, somewhat threatening, but not in a position yet to start expanding beyond the Nanman region. And there's of course us in southern Jing, hopefully about to take the last city of the province. Ah, so close. But it was not meant to be. Cao Pi and Deng Ai are no longer allied. Well, I can understand why Cao Pi decided to let that alliance lapse, though Cao Pi could annex or unify Deng Ai at a moment's notice if the RNG goes against me, so I'm going to be a little cautious there. Speaking of which, I'm not being terribly cautious here. But if I take one more area, I can probably fight Deng Ai man for man in his city, or against his city. And tell you what, I am so confident I am going to send out a siege weapon. And I'll actually talk about siege weapons now, as I don't think I've ever really gone into in-depth detail about them. You've got three options: catapult, tower and ram. My concern with ram is that I often find no matter the situation, you will destroy the troops in the city before you'll take it. That's even with using siege weapons. You'll simply, with a catapult or a tower, eliminate the troops, because if the AI has a large amount of troops in the city, they'll deploy them, making a ram irrelevant. And if they don't have a large amount of troops to the extent that they won't deploy, you're better off finishing off the remaining troops in the city in order to take it, as if a city's troops hit 0, you take over the city. So the choice then is between catapult and tower, and the way I understand it is based on cities' statistics. The lower the durability of a city, the higher the troop damage you do to a city. So while a tower has better, I think it's called siege, that's the stat that the game uses to work out how much damage you're doing to a gate or a city. Because a catapult has significantly higher demolish, you'll end up doing more damage with a catapult than you will with a tower, so catapults are subsequently better. This may be incorrect, this may not be mathematically perfect, but that's how I understand things. Deng Ai still isn't deploying from the safety of his city, so I think he is going to let us more or less surround the city. Which is bad news for him, as, well, it'll mean he won't stand a chance of repelling us, even if he deploys at the last minute. So we'll take it slow. I've explained before, if you're playing on extreme difficulty, that's the way to do it. Is that Guiyang Wei on the way for us? Yeah, we'll be okay, even if it takes them a long time to return from them deployment. I won't let the threat of a single unit from Ganning pressure my decision making for taking Guiyang, as once I've conquered Deng Ai, my south, while not secure, is relatively safe. Okay, we've got some action. Strange. He deployed from the wrong side of the city. Is he coming for us? Is he gonna... No, okay. Next turn it looks like he's going to walk into the Sima family formation of extreme death. Name pending, working on that one, because once he moves into that tile, which is what I'm hoping for, we will have both Sima Yi and Sima Shi attacking him, and we'll have our 3 backline archer units also attacking him, unless he uses volley, in which case he could eliminate all 3 in a single tactic, but we'll have to hope that doesn't happen. You know, I could be lucky. It may occasionally happen one day. And this opens up the side flank of the city for my catapult unit. So all is quite well in that regard. So they can march on up against the city. and I'll just have him take the final surrounding area. Oh, before I get into battle, and you should always do this, I'm going to change the formation to the one that is most favourable for me, which is I can still do level 8 arrow, but I can replace the final 2 points of arrow with 5 levels of fish. There we go. So as we can see, once all the dialogue boxes disappear, ooh, he's doing quite a bit of damage to me back in return with his charge. But as far as the stats are concerned, I'm doing very well. And Sima with his unique tactic actually ends up with very high assault, so he can do tremendous damage in the right circumstances. And then my catapult will be able to make short work of the city, hopefully. I think I'll ask Sima to move forward slightly. And he can move forward slightly as well. She can move down, what of that? Rather than that, just have everyone move down a single tile. Should work out. Yeah, look at that big numbers from Sima there. Oh, and then the chain tactic fires right towards the end of the battle. It literally is just Guiyang Wei attacking by himself, maybe with the assistance of this unit there, Liu Jian. Because it takes a long time to deploy, I think I'll just relocate them. These 3 officers, Liang, Yuan Shao and Yuan Shao. And they can deploy from Changsha using the troops that are already in situ. So I think this is it for Deng Ai. He's got no surrounding areas now. My siege weapon will be there in 3 more turns, maybe. So slow. So I think next turn, no, I'll do it this turn in case Deng Ai decides to deploy for the catapult. We'll make our way and start doing some damage to the city. Okay, Deng Ai doesn't seem like he's going to try that again. He has an impressive 200 troops a turn troop income. They are going to take some damage from the city. Nothing I can't really recover from. I just need to make sure when I move everyone in range that they aren't taking damage from the city, as those archer units will expire in a single turn otherwise. Okay, so no more attacks from Guiyang. Chou, if you could make your way to the city without losing all of your troops, that would be nice, but you've already lost 1,300. Such is the way of trying to attack a city in the mountains. Go wise there at least. And, okay, that's abject failure. But Guiyang Wei doesn't really stand a chance. If we have a moment to spectate their battle, I think Guiyang Wei should lose this quite handily. Oh, and the catapult's helping too. So there he is, he's already gone. Nice and easy. And I missed an assault of a unit from Deng Ai. Well, that'll be it for Guiyang. Okay, so not looking good. We are going to retreat back into the city and perhaps let Zhu Sheng make his way through the catapult pass. Now, if you watch the ticks of damage to the city, the troop damage that is, it should increase turn by turn. Okay, so 503, 557, 576, 610, you can see as the durability lowers, so does the, inversely, the damage done to the troop count increases, which is why I think catapults end up being more effective than siege towers. And we have taken out Deng Ai's faction. I hope he's actually in the city or has joined us. We've got his son there. We've got Fan Shi, who is as useful a addition to our force, if not more, than Deng Ai. a wife, a supportive unit. This game is all about multipliers, and supportive is one of the best multipliers in the game. And here is the Emperor's advisor telling me that I am now regional governor. So there's a few officers we now need to hire. Fan Shi is important, massively important. So is Deng Ai's son, the ministrant. Those are the two most significant officers outside of Deng Ai. Other than that, mountain warlords are always very useful in these mountainous cities. And I will just go through and try and hire everyone one step at a time. So I think that's... no, Li Shi. I think that's everyone. Have we got Deng Ai? Did he join us? No. Okay. Deng Ai was not in the city. He is going to join Nanhai Buzi. So I am now going to have to chase Buzi to acquire Deng Ai. I cannot emphasize how frustrating that is to me. But it is what it is. No Deng Ai, no Zheng Hui. My attempts to play with the other Jing officers have been thwarted. At least I could rank up my administration. A consolidation prize, I suppose, is one way to put it. Any meaningful upgrades? No fish. So I got fish, arrow, arrow. I can get fish back up to level 10. I can... yep, so that's 5. Yeah, that's really the best I can do. Level 10 arrow, level 5 fish. And with the leftovers... there we are. We have our boats, at least our level, well, level 5 boats, the first upgrade, not the ultimate boats, but still something. Now we can reduce that supply lines, that's a reduced supply lines level 10. I naturally don't have enough orders for this, so we'll put the boats back next turn. We've got an attempt to attack us coming from Ganning there. I'm just going to send a very minor unit down to attack and then retreat. He's trying to bring down our catapult tower, which I'm not going to stand for. Zhu Sheng is marching towards Changsha with its threatening amount of troops, shall we say. Threatening in the sense that it hasn't got many troops at all. I'm going to try and hire Fan Shi with all the spare officers, and that's all I can do for this turn. There we are, she's joined us. So that only leaves Deng Ai's son, who is a ministrant, so he will be not an ideal replacement for Deng Ai, but at least he's something. He will enhance Sima Yi even further. So he'll just act as a cheerleader effectively, along with Fan Shi, making a very potent cheerleader. Why is Cha? Never mind. So I'm going to march the army back north, at least the officers I've used in this army. Sima Yi, Sima Shi, Guo Huai. No, he can stay there. Hao Chao can stay here. But I want all the Simas. And Fan Shi. Oh, and of course, she's not named a Sima, but she is, for all intents and purposes, a member of the Sima family. And I will have them deploy on the outskirts of Changsha and take out Xu Sheng. Got him. So there's mission mildly accomplished. Looking very scary, but Oh, they've actually got quite a good terrain advantage fighting us in Changsha. How best to handle that then? Whereas in Luo, I think we're... Oh, I can't even... Fire over at Sima Yi, Sima Shi. So, how am I going to do this? You're not reckless, so that's not going to work. I didn't bring any of the mountain warlords over, that was my mistake. And Sima Yi is wounded. I think I'll just let him march into the city itself and then plan around that. We got plenty of troops to the south thinking about it, so even if we are going to be planning an assault from Guiyang, I can spare the troops for now, just in case. I can't see this working, but I am going to try it anyway. Okay. Oh, Zhu Shang is retreating. That catapult is going to fall, but it'll have done a fair amount of damage by the time it does fall. I wish Sima Yi would heal, but he doesn't be looking inclined to do that anytime soon. So if I bring 3,000 out for one of you, 2,000 out for the other, Fanshi, 1,000, and who next? The wife. So, Jia, the concern is either a duel, which is terrible, but Zhu Shang also has a direct damage tactic, which would do a huge amount of damage, also terrible. And then we have 13 troops left in reserve, so even a light breeze before these reinforcements get here will obliterate the city. Is he going to retreat? He is retreating. How... never mind, didn't work. I didn't think it would. He's probably had his loyalty increased since then, so we're going to have to get Deng Ai the old-fashioned way, which is by conquering the faction he belongs to. Cao Pi is once again looking quite threatening, so once I make a move on Nanhai, that is something I will need to take into consideration. At the very least, once I am through the mountains, this area isn't terrible for fighting Wu Qi in. So the state of play at the moment, I have 60,000 troops, which does sound like a lot, but they are spread out amongst 4 cities, all of which can be attacked at any point. So I am trying to balance the troops around to the cities that need to be able to defend themselves, which I'm doing with reasonable success. Ling is probably the biggest concern, but also I want to be able to attack Nanhai from Guiyang, and I am down to 20,000 troops here. I got plenty of food, again within reason, but the other cities are quite low on food and not massively high in terms of the gold that's being generated, so I am going to try and be a bit more frugal rather than leaving these overseers on permanently train. And I am going to do something somewhat risky. I think it requires Sima Yi being stationed here first, and that is I want to build an alliance with Liu Bei, because if I can build an alliance with Liu Bei, I can attack Buzi in the south with relative confidence. Of course, emphasis on relative there. I got the officers to do so, and I've got the supplies, as long as Cao Pi doesn't decide to try and attack me at the same time. But there are a lot of traps situated around this area, so that makes it a somewhat risky gamble. I can't use snake formation because even though this terrain is very mountainous, the city is surrounded by highways and plains. There's no forests around the city, so I won't be able to really use snakes. So we're going to have to do this the brute force way, which can be risky. Another assault from Zhu Shang, so I am going to same force as before. I could build a wall there. Yeah, I'll do that. So I'm going to build a wall. Just, if I can anyway, just in front of the catapult so he's unable to attack it. No, I can't. There's too many buildings in the area. Okay, well what we have is what we're given in this case. So I'll just have to wait for him to come. You've got 5,000 troops on the way from Wuling. I don't want to reduce Wuling too drastically because I still need to be able to defend against both Jiangren and Jianling. Ganling's city there. Lingling is the biggest risk. Cao Pi is sat there quietly building up and he'll reach 35,000 troops. See, he more than doubles the amount of troops I have available and he'll deploy against me. And I'm about 7,000 troops away from what I would want to comfortably attack Nanhai. Unless I can ally Liu Bei, which I will. I'll do something ridiculously risky and send him 5,000 gold. See if that's enough to build an alliance. Trusted, trusted, trusted. Yes. Okay, so there's one potential enemy out of the way. However, this, especially if there's fire traps around it, will be lethal. Oh, I don't need Sima. You will do. Well, that's something. At least it's not Buji and Cao Pi, which would have been far, far worse, but we are getting closer to that grand unification. There's always a few minor ones before a grand cross-map unification takes place. So, Sun Quan's now a major player. Yeah, more troops than us, same amount of officers, less cities. You're at 5? What have you done? Oh, you've expanded into Xinyi? Well, either way, you're still the final boss currently, which is why we must expand southward. I'm hoping Yuan Shao does not do anything in his usual... he's going to take the area before I could. I was a turn too slow. Okay, well this should do. And he's going to retreat. No? Okay, well, absolutely fine by me, in which case, against my better judgment, I am going to do it. We are going to attack. This is going to be the main force. Have you got any useful tactics? How's your intelligence? Not brilliant. That they'll have to do. Then I'm going to have Sima Yu. No, Sima Chou. Fan Shi and Chang Chanhua. Plenty of disorders. But I got room for one more. Sima Yu, you're coming along as well. So plenty of backline support and a decent front line to go with it. "91 days, so if this doesn't work, there's no retreat, death or victory." Speaking of which, okay, this helps. Strong seat, well, not even that strong now. There we are, that also helps. Ah, and Renewal of the Alliance. I'd very much like his sword, but I don't think he's going to give that to me. 5,000 gold. Yes. And he's carrying out a fire attack, which isn't fantastic. But have I got my reinforcements in there? No, next turn, out comes Yuan Shao to help. Oh, that is Yuan Shao, Liang. As long as he doesn't try to move. Unless, have I got anyone who can? Water Warlord, Helmsman. No. But I do have the boats. So that may work. Yuan Shao needs to move back, or he's going to not be able to block Yuan Shao anymore. Okay, okay, one catapult down. Yuan Shao's also gonna get stuck in the duel. Yuan Shao won! Okay, I was not expecting that. That won this battle for me, without exaggeration. No, be very, very careful. Oh, that couldn't have gone better. So out you come. Oh, I'll tell you what, let's go all out. There we are, that somewhat helps. Yuan Shao's on fire, which isn't good. Definitely not good. But Liang is in position to flank them. Don't want to go that way just in case. I'd rather do it over 2 turns. Okay, well, one's cut off. That's not good. But we have hopefully killed Pan Chang. Hopefully. Okay. You're chasing your... Yes, this helps. And we've killed him because his morale depleted. So that duel we won was in fact essential. Buji is attacking Guiyang. I don't think he will be, but if you insist again. Changsha needs reinforcements again. Send 6,000 troops over. Okay, here comes Deng Ai once again. Favourable terrain, is it? Is it not? Is this favourable terrain? Where's the core? Yeah, it's much better to fight here. So what we want to do, we want to bait them into fighting on our own territory. No room for Sima because of the choke points, unfortunately. But we will make do with what we can. Deng Ai with vantage ground and dash, much like Sima Yi, is moving at an incredible pace. But it is okay, in fact. I'd much prefer Sima Shi to do that. Okay, here he comes. Is this working? Oh, we created a great big spaghetti junction. No, we'll just about be in position. Just about anyway. So you get in there, you get in there, you stay there as support. You stay there as support. This is an absolute nuisance, but I'm hoping it'll be enough. We've used 25,000 supplies and we're not anywhere near the city yet. This may not work, but I am going to try until it looks like we're at the point of starvation. Okay, here we go. Okay, there's 1,200 damage done to us already, but there's the chain tactic we need. Oh, no disorder. And that's Deng Ai eliminated. Let's see if Buji will still come for us. So Cao Pi's coming for us, Zhang Ren's coming for us, Buji's coming for us, and Ganning's coming for us. Every city's being attacked. Who have I got who can help? Go Hawaii. Yan, Liang, Yuan Shao, Yuan Shao. Anyone here who fancies a minor skirmish? Go on, let's give Sham okay an attempt. Should be okay in Gong'an. A chance to buy more food at a reasonable rate. But we are going to have to stop training and recruiting here for now. Simply haven't got the money for it. Same as in Changsha, you'll have to stop recruiting here. Ling Ling, you are okay. You can buy a little bit of food. Wu Ling, haven't got a merchant. Okay, the siege weapon is retreating, but the fish formation units are coming to their doom. I don't think he'll make it in time, but if he does, he'll wish he hadn't. A duel. Oh! Wait, what? Sima Yi's wounded, is he not? No? Why on earth did Sima Yi challenge him? Why would you ask? Why would you ask to duel? We're already low morale from the mountains. And then another volley. Just why? I do not understand why you would have done that, but if Buzi's going to keep funneling troops our way, then he's going to keep funneling troops our way. And I can hopefully build a music tower somewhere along here. Okay, this is not too bad. More troops being sent to the slaughter. My only concern is whether Sima Yi is going to try and steal these officers, so I'm going to hopefully provoke Sima Yi into attacking me. Mountain Warlord Snake Formation. I'm using a Snake Formation officer so I can move quickly and prevent him, hopefully, from escaping. So I'm going to wait for him to move into Xi'an, which is much more favourable towards ourselves, and then try and destroy this single unit on a suicide mission. Here he comes, once again. The Inferno. Okay, well that's the end of this campaign. There's no coming back away from Inferno. It just does too much damage relative to the unit strength. There's nothing we're going to be able to do about that. As if, well, to pour salt on the wound, Ganning, Jiang Wei and Xian Chong are coming for Luo once again. Okay, are we going to have any luck? If Deng Ai was captured, I would forgive the blunder, but no, he is not being captured, so we're going to kill this officer and then retreat. Locusts as well. We are cursed. There is no chance we're going to be taking this city. We have done a huge amount of damage to Bunqi, but we have unfortunately quite likely gifted the city to somebody else in the process. So that is unfortunate. You can retreat already. This is going very well. Well, it would be if I wasn't on fire. And here comes the attack force for Nanhai by Cao Pi. Brilliant. And up north, how are we going to handle that this time? Well, Yuan Shao, 5,000 troops. Yuan Shao, with his archers, just sitting in the back. Give him 2,000. And then Yan Liang, also give him 5,000. And I'll try and position them just out of range that reckless trigger, so Yuan Shao will sit on the port, Yuan Shao will sit there, Yan Liang will sit here. Well, he's not going to last very long, as even will he. I think we took about 40 troops worth of damage, perhaps, unless I deployed with 6,000 initially. If you look at that 18,000 defense, no threat at all. Wounded, 400. Okay, so I guess I lost 1,000. Lost 1,000 to kill 3,000. Not a bad trade. And we'll just finish off here and then hopefully retreat once this unit is dead. Okay, here he comes. And he's done Inferno again. I swear the AI knows to always use that tactic. I don't know if it's alphabetical order, but they always use Inferno. And it just means we take a tremendous amount of damage. Possibly even losing these units. So I'm just going to ask everyone to slowly back off out of the fire. And you're retreating there. All very, very well. And let's hope for the best here.
刻出发。